gas evildoers, and welcome to the Canard Files, a Darkwing Duck podcast. I'm your host, Will Santana, and
I'm Mike Russo, and look, your belly button's showing. Ooh, it's full of Spacelin.
Hey, how's it going, Mike?
It's good. As we are recording this, the Oscars are on right now, so I'm trying to keep tabs on that, because in animation news, Toy Story 4 just won Best Animated Film of last year, so good for it. I really enjoyed that film.
I did too.
I was a little disappointed that Frozen 2 was snubbed, because I loved Frozen 2. But Toy Story 4, I'm totally cool with. That one won. At the time of this recording, Best Song has not been revealed yet, so I'm hoping Into the Unknown won. My family loves that song, so I'm hoping that's the one that wins. If it doesn't, But congratulations, Toy Story 4. Good film.
Oh yeah, I liked it, man. I like how they brought Bo Peep back onto that one.
Yeah, I love Forky. Forky's great.
Yeah, Forky's hilarious, man. But Mike, where can they find our podcast at, man?
Oh, tons and tons of places. We are, of course, the St. Canard Files, a Darkwing Duck podcast. We are on Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, Apple devices, Pocket Cast, Radio Public. You can watch us on YouTube. We are also on iHeartRadio, Pandora, and of course, if you own an Alexa, you can listen to us on that as well. Oh, so right. We are everywhere you want to be.
Get them, Mike. You're getting better with it, man. and the thing is, I keep adding them to you, but you're doing fine with it, man.
And they don't write these down. It's all from memory.
All right,
guys,
Mike,
there's also a ton of others that I never mentioned. There are a lot of other apps we're on. I just can't mention them all. So
you do all right, though. I'm impressed, man.
I try.
All right, well, Mike, I'm going to get into our shout-outs, at the beginning of the episode this time. And matter of fact, we're just going to do it for now on at the beginning. This time we're going to our Instagram page, Mike, which you have no knowledge of, but that's another day, another time. All right, we got... All right, well, I'm going to give a shout-out to Turtle Piece of Power, Panchito Pistols, Saturday Morning Girls, Art Strong 86, there's a couple of them that have like official Darkwing Duck official, and there was one I'm trying to find on here. It's like XXX exotic girl or something like that. And no, she does not post those kind of photos. Like she's a real person. I don't know why she picked that name, but
sounds exotic though.
Yeah, so that's who's following us on Instagram. So I want to give a shout out to you guys. There's more on Instagram. Just can't name you all at once. Mike, you had a shout out today.
I do have a shout out. This is a big one. It's someone we all know. It was a voice of our childhood. He was a duck. He was a stuffed bear. He was a bobcat. Jim Cummings follows our page. He likes many things on our page. He shares things on our page. If you see one of our posts suddenly explode in terms of reach, that's usually because Jim shared it. We're so happy that he pays attention to what we're doing. We're so happy he shares our stuff, that he likes our stuff. I don't know if he listens to the podcast. I really hope he does. Jim, if you are listening, we love you, man. Thank you for the support. And we're both getting to meet you this year. And I just wanted to mention it because I think it's amazing that he is following our page.
Jim Cummings? Who's that, Mike?
Jim Cummings.
I've never heard of him.
Like I said, a stuffed bear, a bobcat, a duck, a firefly, a cat. I can name so many characters he's played. Come on, man. You know who Jim Cummings is.
All right, Jim, but before we get into the episode today, do you have a favorite space or alien type movies?
Well, I wouldn't say I have any favorites, but I do like a whole bunch. Probably some that you like as well. I mean, Alien.
Mm-hmm.
In space, no one can hear you scream, of course. Which one do you prefer, the first or the second?
Second.
Because those are the only two that matter.
Oh, yeah. I like both, though, but I do prefer the second one over the first one. But I won't complain if someone made me watch the first one. Not one bit.
You can't deny how important the first one is.
Mm-hmm.
E.T.
I like E.T.
I have not seen E.T. in years, but that's due for a rewatch.
Yeah, I liked it. I didn't like the quality though. I watched it in 4K the other day. I didn't like the way it looked in 4K. Like the
really?
CG. Yeah, I kind of felt like the CG made it look bad on it.
Well, then isn't it available without the CG?
I don't know.
I don't think Spielberg did what Lucas did.
Yeah, because I watched Back to the Future in 4K, and when I watched it in 4K, it didn't look too good. Like some of the special effects and stuff, I was like, ooh, let me go back to standard or HD maybe.
Yeah, not everything is gonna age well.
Mm-hmm.
But
Uh,
what else?
I like Transformers. Not the live action ones. I like the cartoon movie and the cartoon series itself. I like the Predator. The first two Predator movies. I didn't like the
Mm-hmm.
Alien versus Predator though.
Uh, Animation related. I love Lilo and Stitch.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. My daughter loves Stitch, man. She's obsessed with Stitch.
Yeah, I'm happy that film, all the sequels, and the entire TV show are all on Disney Plus. The TV show is so much like Pokemon, it's not even funny. My daughter loves Pokemon, so I cannot wait for her to watch that show.
Yeah, and you know Stitch is getting a live action film coming out next year, right? On Disney Plus.
Don't remind me. Um, there's also Treasure Planet. Have you seen Treasure Planet?
Oh, not in a long time, man. I haven't seen it in about 20 years, dude.
Mm.
And
Anything else?
I can tell you, I'm gonna name one that hasn't aged well. I'm not saying I'm promoting this one for people to watch. It's Howard the Duck. I watched that one
Howard
like,
the Duck. Oh my God.
yeah, I watched that one like 4 or 5 years ago. Oh my God, that thing's aged terribly. It's a terrible movie now, man.
You know which one else is pretty bad?
What's that?
Now, I love the Muppets, but oof, Muppets from Space.
Oh yeah.
Oof. Oof. That one's not a good one.
All right. Well, Mike, there's a reason why we just talked about space and aliens really quick, ain't it?
Yeah, there definitely is. This is actually this Darkwing Duck episode we're discussing today is our first space alien episode.
All right. What's the name of it?
When Aliens Collide. The title is based on a 1951 sci-fi film called When Worlds Collide. So that's where that title comes from, When Aliens Collide.
All right. And what's our production and air date?
Okay, our original air date is Tuesday, October 8th, 1991. And get this is the deepest we're getting in production order so far. It's 52nd in production order.
Ooh, it's back there.
Yeah, it's super late. My guess is this one was pushed through production super fast. It probably was scripted, boarded, went to layout, and was sent to be animated really fast. And that's the only reason why I would assume it's come out so quick. It's super late in production, but we're already seeing it now. And the story editor was Tom Minton. I know we've talked about Tom Minton a bunch of times already. And our writer is Jeremy Kushner, a new writer. Didn't have much of a career. He wrote a single Tailspin episode. He wrote a Raw Tunage episode. This episode of Darkwing was his only one he wrote. And the only other major thing I could find on his IMDb, have you ever heard of the series Bump in the Night?
No, I never heard of that.
It was a stop motion clay animated series around the time Darkwing was airing. I only pointed out because the main characters were voiced by Jim Cummings and Rob Paulsen.
Oh, okay.
So we got some Darkwing connections there. So he only wrote that stuff. I mean, he's only got like 8 credits on his IMDb.
Okay.
And everything he worked on, he only did 1 episode of. So this is his only Darkwing episode.
Who's our animator? Oh, go ahead.
It's Sun Woo. Of course, it's Sun Woo. Animation is fine. Characters are on model. The drawings are fine. I mean, it was a later one based on the production order. So Sun Woo had ironed all the kinks out by now. And what do you think of this one? Really quick.
Animation wise, it was decent.
Just in general.
Oh, in general, it's okay. It's not bad, not great. It's slightly fun here and there. I not top of the pack or anything, you know.
It's one of those episodes. It's not a favorite that I do enjoy when I watch, but it's one of those episodes I forget about entirely after I watch it. And you don't think about. You're never going to see it on someone's list. You're never going to hear someone say, "Oh, I like that one." It's one of those episodes that never comes up. You know.
Yeah, it's one of those one-time watch one. You just move on from it. You know.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. That's about right.
Okay.
And so again, it's our first. By air date, it's our first space episode. Battle of the Brain teasers actually was a much earlier one, but it hasn't aired yet. So this makes this one our first space episode.
Okay.
So let's start our plot here.
All right, we got Drake. He's watching the kids and he's complaining about God's choices for entertainment.
Yeah, and by kids, we're talking Gosalyn, Honker, and Tank.
Yep, and Tank.
We have a lot of Tank in this one. He's actually crucial to the plot.
We got Honker's hanging around a bit too. He doesn't have much dialogue, but he's in the scene a lot of the background and stuff, man. He's hanging around.
Yeah, we have a lot of Honker. So yeah, Drake's complaining. They went out for a night out with the kids because he lost the coin toss to Herb. So they went to an arcade. They went to Hamburger Hippo, and it sounds like they had a great night. It really does. It sounds like the kind of night I want to have as a kid.
Yeah.
But Drake's complaining, and I have one issue with this episode. I do, and you got to hear me out with this one.
Okay.
I feel like the theme of this episode is trust. About how Drake needs to trust Gosalyn. I mean, that's the theme that's basically hit over our heads the entire half hour. But I don't understand why the subject of trust even comes up. What does Gosalyn going to these places with Drake, Honker, and Tank have to do with trust? It's a night out. The kids had fun. Darkwing's the one with the problem. He's complaining. Like, I don't know why he's complaining, you know? And she's like, oh, Dad, but you have to trust me. The subject of trust comes up because it's the theme of the episode, but it's kind of shoehorned into it. I'm not really buying it, you know, and as we continue in the episode, we're going to see that they keep mentioning trust when it doesn't really work. And I'll keep talking about that as we get into specific parts of this plot. So anyway, breaking up this conversation is the arrival of an alien spaceship. What does the spaceship look like, Will?
It looked like a cucumber.
Yeah, it's not really explained why the alien spaceships have a vegetable motif, but they do. I mean, getting ahead of ourselves, Battle of the Brain Teasers, the spaceships look like hat boxes and hat racks. That makes sense. This one, they're just giant fruits for the heck of it. I wish they explained it, you know? But it's weird for weirdness' sake. I'm not sure it really works, but I guess it's a funny visual, right?
Yeah.
So a creature comes out of the cucumber. We're not going to name him.
No, not yet.
Yes.
We're just going to say alien, I guess, for now.
For now, it's an alien. Describe what he looks like.
He was kind of look like E.T. a little bit.
A little bit. He's purple. Pink with purple polka dots, right?
Yeah, and he had the eyes that poke out.
Yeah, he's got eye stalks too. And he's wearing a collar with a bow tie on it, which seems to be giving him trouble. He seems to want to shapeshift into a larger, muscular form, but the collar is preventing him from doing that.
And he keeps choking too.
It's choking him too. Yeah, Gosalyn sees right away there's something up with the collar, and Gosalyn's all very trusting. It's like, oh, you know, look at the alien. He needs our help, and Drake very rightfully is concerned. Like he's saying, we have no idea what this thing even is. And Gosalyn is, I would say, I don't know if you agree with me, very naive in this episode.
Oh, she's been stubborn too, man.
I would think, especially because there was another alien episode that technically came before this, you would think Gosalyn would be a little bit more savvy, and that if anything, she was right and Drake would be wrong. But I will say it right now, Gosalyn does the wrong thing pretty much the entire way through this episode. Everything bad that happens, Gosalyn has something to do with it.
Yeah.
And that's rare for the show, for Gosalyn to be in the wrong the entire way through. So if Gosalyn would just listen to Drake at the very beginning, nothing that happened in this episode would actually happen. And that's rare. Usually Drake is the fool and Gosalyn is the one who's talking sense. But anyway, so the alien you go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, Tank finds like this other like a small cucumber, and he believes there are jawbreakers inside of it.
Yeah, little blue spheres.
Yeah. Well, it's not called spheres yet.
Yeah, they don't mention what exactly they are yet.
Yeah. He calling them jawbreakers, and Goss is like all over this alien. She's just eyeing him up, and you know. But the alien notices that Tank has the jawbreakers. Well, I'm gonna call them jawbreakers for right now.
Right.
Yeah, Mike.
So Tank pushes Honker into the alien's face just long enough to pour the jawbreakers into Honker's backpack, and then put some pebbles into the little cucumber to give back to the alien. Basically a swap.
Yeah. And then Gaz convinces Drake to take him home until the owner shows up.
Yep. She thinks he escaped from a kennel.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know why she got that, but this is what's really funny to me is when the alien goes in the house and Launchpad is there. Did you notice he had on a tutu, a bird cage on his head and a bowling ball in his hand.
Yeah, he's also wearing a catcher's mitt.
And a catcher's mitt.
And the bird cage is on his head. He's not wearing his flight cap. It is a small bird in his hair. Because they come in and Drake's like, Launchpad is not going to believe this. And they turn around and there's Launchpad with the tutu and the bowling ball and the bird cage.
Yeah, and then the alien's on the table and notices the jawbreakers are missing. Can't really say what they are yet, but
yeah, he opens a tiny cucumber container, sees there are pebbles in there, and then Gosalyn, who like desperately wants to get that collar off of him, shows up with a blowtorch.
yeah,
but at least she's wearing eye protection. I'll give her that.
Yeah, she did. I didn't even notice that, but she did. Now that I think about it.
So the alien runs inside, crashes into Drake, turns over the couch. And Launchpad's trying to explain what happened to him. We're getting only the end of the story. Like, I don't remember all of it. Like, he runs into the ballet class, crashes into the pet store. I would love to see exactly what happened to Launchpad.
Yeah, but then God shows up Negaduck style, man.
With a chainsaw. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, she freaks out the alien, who inflates, gets really huge, crashes through the roof. Darkwing pops him. Well, Drake pops him with a pin.
Yeah.
So this is actually a first. The alien jumps into the Muddlefoot's house.
Yeah, this is the first time we see the Muddlefoot's house. The rooms, the hallway, the stairs.
We don't get a lot. We don't see the main floor. We see upstairs. We see Tank and Honker's bedroom and the upstairs landing. I will say it's designed a lot like the Mallard house, but oh my lord, the gaudiest blue wallpaper you've ever seen. which makes total sense considering what Binky's fashion choices probably are.
Yeah.
Yeah, like wood panel doors. It's a very gaudy house. And the alien goes to threaten Tank. Mm-hmm. And you see what Gosalyn does? She kicks Tank right into the wall.
Yeah, she kicked him pretty hard. And then that's when the alien takes Honker's homework in his backpack.
Yeah, it starts a bit of a running gag where Honker thinks the alien's going to eat his lunch. Not his lunch, eat his homework.
Yeah. Kind of like where you say your dog ate your homework.
Right.
Yeah.
So the alien goes back to the Mallard house, and that's when we get another spaceship.
Yep.
What does this one look like?
It was a cabbage.
It is a giant cabbage. And we get another new character.
Yeah. He doesn't say his name yet, but he names
yet.
the other one.
He does. This alien who's a robot. It looks like a robot, right?
Yeah.
He names our little alien for the first time. Our alien's name is Wacko.
But okay, hold on, Mike. I gotta cut you off for 1 second. Did you notice when the robot alien walks in, what theme song was playing?
Yeah, the soundtrack plays a bit of the Negaduck theme.
Yeah, it was a little slightly different. The notes were slightly little different, but it was the Negaduck theme though. I thought it was really cool.
So this alien, well, before he names Wacko, I think it's a really cool touch. He has a language translator on his chest.
Yeah.
And he has to tune into English. And this alien, we'll name him in a minute, was voiced by Danny Mann. We have talked about this voice actor. He was mainly Jay Gander Hooter on the show. And obviously he's doing a Schwarzenegger voice.
Yeah.
Like there is absolutely no mistaking that. No like I'll be back or anything like that. And obviously this is before Terminator 2, so he doesn't do Hasta la Vista baby or anything like that. But it's definitely Schwarzenegger.
And then Mike, a certain superhero finally shows up.
Yeah, about time. Yes. Darkwing finally shows up. He gets an entrance. He goes, "I am the squashed bug on your flying saucer windshield." And he goes, "I am," and the robot opens up a cannon, blows Darkwing away, and Darkwing goes, "Blown away by the alien menace." And so the Wacko, the little alien escapes, hooks up with Gosalyn and Honker.
Yeah.
Because Gosalyn's still trying to protect the alien. You know, Drake had previously sent her to her room. She gets away. She sneaks out the window. The little alien climbs into the cabbage ship. Gosalyn gets inside too, along with Honker. And meanwhile, Darkwing's fighting with the other alien.
And he finally names himself.
Finally names himself. So the alien says, I'm Big Nasty. And Darkwing goes, and ugly too. He's like, no, that's my name, Captain Big Nasty. And he's a cop.
Yeah, he's a cop, and he reveals that Wacko's a criminal.
Yes, he's not just a criminal. He's in possession of the most explosive element in the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Those little jawbreaker things are actually called seismospheres.
Oh, yep.
So he's an escaped criminal.
And they're explosives.
Very, very dangerous explosives.
Yeah.
Yup. So Gosalyn, Wacko, and Honker fly off in the cabbage.
Launchpad's the one that notices it.
Mm-hmm. And then when we get to Act 2, we get a brand new vehicle for Darkwing.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
I don't think it's the Thunderquack. I think it's something else entirely.
Yeah, it resembles the Thunderquack, but you could tell it's not.
No, it's a spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
Which is they never use it again. I like how the top spire of the bridge flips open and this spaceship just flies up into the air. Mm-hmm. They never use it again though. It's kind of a shame.
Yeah. So
they take off into outer space, and in the cabbage ship, Wacko's still trying to get that collar off.
Yeah, Gauze finally gets it off of him. She puts him in a machine, and it clearly says, "Do not remove the collar."
And did you catch what Honker's favorite color is?
Red. Oh no,
Yep.
He said something before red though, didn't he?
Cadmium red, medium. And that's the button Gosalyn presses, and yeah, a big pair of scissors. The machine stretches his neck. Big pair of scissors cuts it right off, and Wacko is free of the collar. Now he can talk.
And who's he voiced by, Mike?
Hal Rail. We've talked about him way back when. Who'd he voice?
Hammerhead.
Yes, so he's back. He's Wacko. And Wacko's true form, he tried to transform before, but his true form is much taller, much more muscular. Mm-hmm. And he's clearly crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And I really hope you caught the Looney Tunes reference.
No, I didn't.
He spins his arm around his head like the Looney Tunes rings and goes, and that's not all. Like, that's all, folks.
Oh, my God, I missed that.
So he does a Looney Tunes reference with his arms. Like those rings at the beginning of the cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's doing. So again, this guy's clearly crazy. He mentions he's got the seismospheres, but then realize he actually does not have them when he looks into Honker's backpack. They're gone.
Yeah, they tell him Tank has them.
So we get this, one of my favorite scenes in this episode. We cut back to the Muddlefoot house. Tank's in his room. I will point out the only time we see Tank's room in the entire series. He's got all the seismospheres lined up. He thinks they're jawbreakers. He picks up the tiniest one, and he's like, I don't need this thing. He throws it behind him. The explosion blows the entire roof off the house.
Yeah.
And then you see Tank all like burnt and dizzy. He's like, oh, and then passes out. Really funny acting from Dana Hill. Again, mm-hmm. Rest in peace. This might be the funniest Tank's ever been in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, Tank's blown himself up, and up in outer space, the cabbage runs out of fuel.
Yeah, and Darkwing crashes into Wacko's plane.
Yeah, Launchpad crashes right into the cabbage.
Mm-hmm.
So they climb out, and everybody climbs down into the ship, but where's Wacko?
Yeah, he's actually in the background, but they don't know that.
They don't realize that they actually use him as the pole to slide down.
Yeah. And
Gosalyn's still vouching for him. Gosalyn has no idea what's going on, totally naive. And so Wacko makes himself known, jumps into the Thunderquack, and flies away. I'm just going to call it the Thunderquack. And when he flies away, the hole in the ship begins sucking everybody out. Gosalyn almost gets sucked out of the ship.
And the Big Nasty saves her, though.
With a giant what?
Plunger.
Giant plunger, yeah. And so, yeah, again, Gosalyn is just so thick. She's not getting it. She says, she's like, no, he isn't a criminal. He's a harmless alien monster. You tell him, Honk. And this is so funny with Honker. Again, like you say, Honker doesn't say much in this episode. But Honker goes, Wacko is a harmless? Wait, no, he isn't. Even Honker gets it.
Yeah. Goss isn't, though. But Honker dropped something, though, doesn't he?
He does drop one seismosphere out of his pocket.
Yeah, and Big Nasty freaks out when he realizes what it is.
Yeah, but luckily they can use this thing to restart the engine.
Yep.
But Big Nasty says the person who does it will definitely get burned to a crisp. And of course, who's going to do that?
Yeah, only one person's going to do it.
Only one person is crazy enough to do something like that. Who is it?
Darkwing.
So Darkwing puts on a spacesuit. You notice he makes sure to keep his cape out of the spacesuit.
Yeah.
Because of course he does. He has to keep the cape out of the spacesuit. And he's fiddling around. The ship's about to drop into Earth's atmosphere. He loses the seismosphere. He's all clumsy about it. So how does he get the seismosphere into the engine?
I don't remember.
His giant-sized pea shooter. Never leaves home without it.
That's right. He did the pea shooter. But did you realize that scene kind of reminded you of DuckTales on the opening credits with Scrooge?
Oh, kind of. Yeah, I know what you're talking about when he's up in outer space.
Uh-huh. It kind of reminded me of that.
A little bit. And the spaceship finally ends up back in St. Canard, and Darkwing's dragging behind it, bumping off cars. Yeah. Like it's funny. Some of the action scenes in this one are actually pretty well staged.
Yeah, Wacko's at the Muddlefoots.
Oh, Wacko is going to torture Tank if he doesn't get his way. Poor Tank, though, is in a body cast. Oh, Tank. But he stored the seismospheres in the closet, so Wacko gets the seismospheres back. Just as he's about to leave is your favorite scene in the episode, animation-wise.
Yeah, man. Was it yours?
Mine too. I do like this scene.
Okay, yeah. Darkwing was in the window. Explain why you liked it. Maybe we had the same reason.
The window is totally like a bright white light. Is shining behind Darkwing, and the shadows. It's just really cool and dramatic.
Yeah, because his pose, the way he's like sitting on the window, on the window ledge. So it's like in the white light, but he's kind of dark on that scene,
Yeah, because it's such a bright white light. I don't know why they chose that visually, but it was a really cool visual choice.
Yeah.
And the bedroom door bursts open, and Big Nasty comes in, and the white light's behind him too.
But he didn't look as cool as Darkwing, though.
No, nothing ever looks as cool as Darkwing. No, not at all.
Yeah, so Wacko's trying to get out of the house, and he's trying to get back to the ship.
He bumps in the launch pad, though. They have a really funny exchange. He holds the jar of seismospheres in Launchpad's face, and he's like, "You're going to eat my wrath." And Launchpad goes, "Yuck, I don't eat wrath." And finally, Gosalyn, we're like 3 minutes into the end of the episode, Gosalyn finally finds out that Wacko's no good.
Yeah.
It took her way too long. Like, he's saying that, you couldn't stop one alien from blowing up a planet, and Gosalyn walks out of the spaceship just in time to hear it. And did you hear what he calls Honker?
I don't remember.
He calls Honker Gosalyn's annoying boyfriend.
Oh, yeah, he sure did. And that's when she pokes him in the eye. That was like her last straw.
Yeah, she's had it. She pokes him in the eye. He loses the jar of spheres, and Honker, of all people, catches it. Normally, I wouldn't think Honker would be that skilled, but he does catch the jar. And Darkwing gets this moment. What?
Yeah, I was going to say, Goss finally gives Darkwing the green light to go at him.
Darkwing finally gets his moment. To be frank, Darkwing just beats the crap out of Wacko. He just jumps on him in a huge fight cloud. The rest of the characters are like standing behind him like, "Go Darkwing, come on, go Darkwing." And like when you cut back, when the fight cloud clears, he's like got his hands around Wacko's neck, trying to like close a new collar around him.
Yeah.
So yeah, he does it. Wacko turns back to a little alien again. Can't talk. He's done for.
Yeah, and we get cocky Darkwing back. He claims he saved the universe by himself.
Yeah, but he has to concede. Captain Big Nasty was a little bit of help. So yeah, Big Nasty leaves. He takes the seismospheres with him. Gosalyn goes, "Don't forget to recycle." It's just like, all right, yeah, I get it. I don't like it when cartoons go pro-environmental in such an obvious way,
Yeah.
But anyway, I get whatever. Recycling's important.
But we get a cameo from one of your favorite Muddlefoots.
Okay, this ending is great. I do find this ending to be really, really funny, just the way it's staged. Herb thanks Drake and says, "I can always trust you to look out for our family's interests." I mean, Herb's only line, but it's funny. Honker and Herb go inside the house. The second they close the door, the entire house collapses.
And you can hear Tank in the background.
Like the whole house just bam, the roof caves in, the whole house is rubble. It's like the house is done for. And it's just like, and Herb probably doesn't care.
Mhm.
You know, Herb trusts Drake 100%. And you know, Gosalyn laughs and Drake says, you know, not one word, Gosalyn.
Yeah.
And then Gosalyn winks at the camera. I can't stand it when characters do that. Wink directly at the camera. It's like, don't do that. But you know what? It's an entertaining episode when you're in the moment watching it. I will tell it that, but it's never been close to my favorite.
Of course not.
It's one of those episodes I watch if I'm marathoning it. That's really about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad episode. Like I said earlier,
not at all.
It's a good one-time watch one, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not one you would recommend to somebody new, or you like, oh man, did you see that episode? It's not one of those, you know?
Well, you know, is Wacko really all that memorable? You know, that's the big question, and he's really not. It's not like I would never pick this over a Bushroot or a Negaduck or a Quackerjack episode. Absolutely not.
All right, so Mike, how many gas gun canisters would you give this episode?
I'm going to give it a 2. So it's right in the same wheelhouse as the Ducky Phobia, which I also gave it 2.
Okay.
How about you?
I'm giving it the same score too. Also, not just because you said that, but that's what I was honestly going to give it. I felt it was the average, you know, just kind of like a Ducky Phobia, where a good one-time watch one. Nothing. It's not terrible or nothing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you did bring something to my attention that I didn't really think about, the trust thing. Like, that was a major thing that kept coming up, and I don't know, because you never really could trust Gosalyn. She kept making the mistakes until she finally gave Darkwing the green light. So it's kind of like she should have trusted him, you know?
Yeah, and I find with this show, it's usually Darkwing makes the mistakes, and Gosalyn's usually right. And in the end, when Darkwing puts aside his own stupidity and comes around to how everybody else thinks, is when he saves the day. In this one, he's right from moment one. And Honker even gets it. Everyone gets it. And it strikes me as very weird that Gosalyn doesn't get it. And all of this is in service to that trust plot.
Yeah. What I think works for this episode also, Mike, what makes it like a good one-time watch is like it kind of has a lot of good setups. Like, you don't know Wacko's name. You don't know he's a criminal. When Big Nasty first shows up, he looks like a criminal, you know?
Right.
And Wacko still looks like a pet. And then it starts kind of like, oh, there's a twist. They swap roles. Wacko's the bad guy. Big Nasty's the cop. We don't even know his name is Wacko until like halfway through the episode.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know what the spheres were. We thought they were jawbreakers or marbles or something until like close, maybe 3/4 into the episode. We didn't know what they were.
Yeah, you know what? Episodes like this, you can build a mystery because you don't know these new characters. With most other villains that we love, as soon as you see that the plants are involved, you know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Or if you see a toy, you know who it is. If the power goes out, you know who it is. But an episode like this, yeah, you're right. You don't really know if Wacko's a good guy or a bad guy.
Yeah.
They for the entire first act, you don't know what the stakes are and what these new characters want.
Yeah. And that's why I'm saying, like, to me, it's a good one-time watch. You get to see the Muddlefoot's house for the first time. Honker and Tank got bigger roles in it. Even though Honker didn't talk much, his backpack played a key part in the plot, you know?
He doesn't talk too much, but this isn't an episode where you could take him out and it would still make sense.
Yeah. But
you
now,
need him in it, you need Tank in it.
Okay, so for me to like now kind of bring the score down after I just said something positive, what would you rate Wacko? How many gas gun canisters are you gonna give Wacko?
Yeah, he's pretty forgettable, honestly. I'm gonna give him 1.5.
Okay.
That's not my lowest. I think I gave Trench Rot lower. But again, he's forgettable. He has some possibilities. I like the idea that he's all rubbery, he can stretch, but I don't feel like they really did a lot with that. He's very one note. You know, I don't have much to say about him because there really isn't much to him. I actually like Captain Big Nasty more than Wacko. But we're not really gonna rate him, are we?
No.
No.
No, I'm gonna give Wacko a 2.
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
you're a little bit more generous than me.
yeah, a little bit more generous. I thought he had some fun parts, but what brings him down though is like, it seemed like Big Nasty is just, it's so easy for him to handle him, you know? Like
Mm-hmm.
even when he had the collar off, he wasn't that difficult for Big Nasty to capture him or whatever to do with him.
As soon as he
Uh,
walks into the house, he stretches his arm into the next room and immediately grabs Wacko.
yeah, so that was the thing that kind of turned me off with Wacko. Um,
But like I said, Will, if it wasn't for Gosalyn undermining everything,
yeah, he would have been caught.
like he walks out of the house at one point holding Wacko,
Hmm.
and Gosalyn makes him drop him. She
Yeah,
turns the visor down on his helmet, and he drops Wacko. And then she tosses Wacko right to the ship and lets him get away.
yeah.
Every time it looks like Captain Big Nasty's got this under control, Gosalyn undermines everything.
Hmm.
If she had just gone to her room and not done a thing, he would have grabbed Wacko and left.
Yeah.
So it's like Wacko's
I
not much of a threat. The Seismosphere is a threat, not
mhm.
Wacko.
Yeah. And that's why I kind of feel like that's where he becomes forgettable, and that's why the episode kind of like most people will move on. But the first time you watch it, it's a little fun. It's not bad. I like the twists. I like you get to see the Muddlefoots, and Tank is hilarious in this episode to me.
I think this is the episode where he gets like the most like important kind of screen time.
Mm.
Like I think it is. I think this one's tied with Brush with Oblivion
Yeah.
when it
But
comes to Tank being important to the plot.
yeah, but it's not a bad episode. A one-time watch and move on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not one of
That's
the worst ones though.
that's a lot of Darkwing episodes. I would say it. There are not too many outright bad Darkwing episodes. Most of the ones that aren't that great are like this. They're watchable. You just don't remember them after they're over.
All right, so Mike, what episode we got next, man?
What episode we have next? We actually have the return of Stegmont
Oh, okay.
and Kennedy cartoons. We have not seen that studio for a very long time. We have Jurassic Jumble, which also has a new voice actor we haven't talked about.
Hmm.
And we actually are going to have a third host on that episode.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We
And do you want to name him or her, or you want to wait?
we have I'll name him. Our co-host for this episode is going to be Curtis Finley, a really big Disney and comic book fan who
Hmm.
really wanted to do this episode because he wants to talk a bit about Kennedy cartoons, which is cool. So we will won't say more about that. Tune in next time for Jurassic Jumble for me, Will, and Curtis Finley, and that's it.
All right. So Mike, where can they find you at, man?
Facebook, as always, Mike Russo. And how
Okay.
about you?
I'm also on Facebook, Will Santana. You guys make sure y'all like our Facebook page, the St. Canard Files, the Darkwing Duck podcast. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and make sure to start subbing on YouTube. We got a lot of stuff coming up on YouTube that we haven't leaked out yet.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we just on our Facebook page, we were able to activate the badges on there. I don't know 100% how it works. I see some people who didn't get them, but they're very active on our page, so I'm not sure if it's like filtering it in or they gotta come in
Yeah.
later. I don't know.
I've handled the whole badge situation on my own, a different Facebook page I run, and I know that's supposed to go to people who post a lot or post lots of pictures, but it's odd. One person who literally comments and likes every single thing we post has not gotten a badge yet.
Yeah.
By now, he probably has. By the time
Okay.
you guys listen to this, he probably has.
Yeah, he has to get his badge. And
I
we're
would
talking
think
about
by
you,
now.
Mr. Beltran. We're talking about you.
Probably one of our biggest supporters.
Yeah, man. So I don't know how it works, guys, but just keep posting, keep commenting, keep liking. Maybe when I activated, you hadn't just commented yet, so it hadn't shown you yet, or recognized you. But just keep at it. You'll get your badge. Instagram folks, y'all please keep being active. You guys have been very active on Instagram, liking a lot of stuff. If you guys can share some of our posts, that'd be really cool. And that's all I got.
Sharing helps. It gets the podcast out there.
Yeah, instead of just hijacking our posts, sharing, it really helps us get the people to where it originally came from.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's always good to share.
Okay, but that's all I got, Mike, for this episode, man.
Same here.
All right, so you guys, until next week, stay dangerous.
Yep, keep watching the skies.
All right, y'all. Good night.
Good night.